going to lift it over. So you can get away straight away, eliminate play, start, you know where to
So Clint, as incoming captain, what's Captain's Day mean to us?
So Captain's Day has only been running for about 2 years now. For the club, it's basically our first day of the season where we can sort of get everyone back together and sort of just, I guess, reiterate those relationships we had last season, get everyone excited about the season coming up and sort of just keep that tradition and culture sort of moving along, which is, you know, I think a really important part for a club.
Sensational. Being selected captain this year, how's that feel for you?
Oh, I'm pretty chuffed to be able to sort of be involved with the club on that level. You know, it was a big step for me. You know, I've always sort of enjoyed my hockey here, and I think it's nice to be able to give something back and help sort of evolve that culture even further, hopefully. So.
And what are you hoping to bring to the role this year?
For me, I think the biggest parts are sort of being that sort of person that sort of brings integrity and respect, and sort of, you know, brings a bit of motivation to the guys, and sort of helps sort of set the level that you sort of want to see everyone else achieving and stuff. So, you know, I take it pretty seriously, and I want to sort of represent as best as I can. So,
you've seen the players. What's the feeling looking like this season?
I think it's really positive. I think the guys, compared to probably the last couple of years, are probably more positive than I've seen them, and certainly there's a lot of excitement around getting the season started and getting into gear. You know, beautiful weather like this, and everyone's out and about, and we've had a good showing today. So we're pretty happy, and I think, you know, we've got a few new prospects coming along, so we're happy to sort of see the club really build and go on from last year. So. Any
good new talent this year?
There's a few new players that are joining the club, so we've managed to keep pretty much all our players from last season, which we're really stoked about. You know, we've worked pretty hard on developing that core group, and we're starting to really move along, but now we've sort of also added to with a little bit more talent, and potentially a couple of different guys that are moving in, a couple of overseas talents, possibly from India joining the ranks, so we're pretty happy with that sort of result. So Matthew, quite a bit of a heritage there that you've had in the hockey community. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and what you're up to this season?
Yeah, so a bit of a background in my playing history. I played 155 games, well 166 games actually, with the Kookaburras that would have been from 94 through till 2002. And then sort of went into the coaching a couple of years after that, and I guess that's what now brings me here to Kedron. This is my third season with Kedron. The first year I sort of lobbed and without a pre-season under the belt. Had a full season last year, so the third season this year I'll be sort of looking for a bit more of an improvement. Last year was certainly that. I think we matched it with a lot of the teams, and we were a lot more competitive. So, you know, hopefully we'll do that from round one this season.
So you're kind of feeling that the club as itself is developing a bit, but what do you feel are the key things they're going to focus on this season?
Look, I think a lot of other clubs have lost a lot of personnel this season, and we're lucky enough to keep a lot of players and also pick up some. So had a lot of juniors over the last 3 seasons, and, you know, I'd be expecting them to step up this year. And I think we've got a good balance between the seniors and the juniors.
From your New South Wales sort of background and stuff, what sort of brings you to Queensland, brings you to Kedron?
Yeah, so I mean, growing up in Tamworth, it was sort of, my wife and I moved up here from Sydney. So I guess when we landed here, I just sort of made a few inquiries about the clubs that were around, and probably looked at the local clubs, and Kedron was probably the closest one to me. I did play with a lot of guys that, you know, came through the club. Damien Cedo, so he was an old Kedron boy. So I sort of, you know, looked them up. They got in contact with me, and that's it. Here we are now.
Sounds like you're enjoying yourself. That's a good sign.
Yeah, it's good. You know, we're out here in, you know, early January. It seems to be, the pre-season seem to be getting longer and longer, but it's just good that we got a good turnout today, and it goes to show that the boys are really keen for the season.
I hear there's a few coaches getting around that have got a bit of Olympic experience as well in the Brisbane competition now. How you feel about that? Do you think there's a little bit of rivalry there, perhaps, or?
Oh, look, I just think it's really good for the game in Brisbane that we're all actually able to give back to the sport. I know there's a lot of sports out there where once they're finished, they sort of walk away from the game. So yeah, I think that we're up around there's about 6 of us now that have had sort of Olympic experience. Unfortunately, I can't say I've got the gold. There's actually, I think there's 3 gold medalists that'll be coaching next year, a couple of silver medalists, and I sit at the bottom on the bronze sort of medal. But no, it's good that we're able to sort of offer, you know, the players coming through, and, you know, we're up to date with all the new techniques and those types of things. So Look, I think it's more about the players on the field than the coaches, to tell you the truth. But you know, we'll get together after the game and have a beer, no doubt.
Lift it over. So you get away straight away. Eliminate players. Start. You know where the ball is.